Good day, class. This is Miss Delatore, and welcome to the Human Flourishing discussion. In this lesson, we're going to not just simply talk about what human flourishing is, but at the same time, we're going to define what human beings are according to Aristotle, following the rational choice theory. And at the same time, we're also going to check on the different characteristics of the human beings that has evolved through time, leading to, again, the realization or the self-reflection of human beings about what human flourishing means. Okay, and later on, we're going to end the discussion with the connection of human flourishing to science, technology, and society. The specific objectives involves the following. First, we're going to define what human being is and his development as an individual person. Second is that we're going to define the relational aspect of a person. And at the same time, we're going to critique the human flourishing vis-a-vis the progress of science and technology so that you, students, can define for yourself the meaning of the good life. That's because after this lesson, we're going to have the lesson about technology and the evolution of the human society. And then afterwards, we're going to talk about what good life means for us. Okay? So, understanding science, technology, and society will be better or will be further understood if we are able to grasp the nature of human being. So, with that being said, um, that means not just simply defining what human being is, but being able to identify what are the needs and the wants naturally among human beings. Why? Because if we're going to analyze it, we all know that human being is the one that makes up the society, and the society is the one who is establishing different science and technology development, right? Like society is the one innovating. So for us to further understand and get to know what science and technology better, we should also learn to know better those persons behind the development of science and technology. So, ano nga ba ang isang tao or what is a human being? Okay, according to Aristotle, okay, a human being is someone or or is a rational animal. And when we say rational, meaning we make decisions not because of our emotions, but because that's like the most logical thing or analytical thing to do. Okay. Another thing is that Aristotle acknowledges that human beings are living in a physical and a spiritual world. That means we have needs rooting from our physical body and at the same time from our spiritual soul. Okay. And obviously, when it comes to material needs, well, that can be covering a lot of things, right? But with the spiritual ones, dito papasok yung ating spiritual beliefs. Okay, that's the reason why um, we believe in religion or others, they do have different belief system or doctrines in relation to the existence of the Lord or God, okay, or whoever they believe in to be like the the origin or the creator of everything, so something like that. So again, going back to Aristotle, the reason why we have such kind of needs, spiritual ones, is because we have spiritual soul, okay, that innately, okay, looks for the fulfillment when it comes to the spiritual realm, kumbaga, or the spiritual beliefs that we got. If we wanted to be technical when it comes to the definition of human being, well, obviously, scientifically speaking, human beings is a species of Homo sapiens. And if you're going to further define it or characterize this uh, species, well, obviously, human beings have the ability to articulate speech, meaning we can communicate orally through languages. Okay. Furthermore, human beings are characterized with a superior mental development, thus are capable of rational thinking or logical thinking, as we may say it. Okay. Another thing is that human beings are capable of the upright stance, meaning we are able to not just simply stand but walk upright. Okay. And again, like what I mentioned, us human beings are the ones responsible for the advancement in the society today. Okay, how do we do such advancement? Okay, that is influenced according to Aristotle by the rational choice theory. Okay, so ano nga bang ibig sabihin ng rational choice theory? This is a theory wherein individuals chooses specific actions and scientific investigations that are most in line with their personal preferences. Meaning, di ba, whenever we make choices, we consciously or unconsciously or subconsciously pick out the the thing that will benefit us the most. Like whenever we do make decisions, we weigh in how much will we gain and how much will we lose in that specific spot. So we tend to go for the answer or for the decision that will maximize our gain, meaning that is in favor to us, to what we wanted, to our own preferences. Okay, so that we can minimize the loss. Like you can see it from the different things that you are handling every day, like from the brand of shirt, type of food, okay, kind of friends, okay, from the program that you also have right now. Most probably the reason why you're taking it is because you found your passion in this field, and that is something that is beneficial on your end because it maximizes the gain of enjoying and at the same time like operating within the bounds of your uh, passion, right? I hope you get what I mean, but that's the idea in there, right? We unconsciously or consciously tend to go into the option that will give us the maximum gain. Okay? Pagka pabor sa atin, yun yung pinipili natin. If it's not going our way, then most likely we're not going to choose it. And that's rational choice theory because again, when we say rational, okay, actually it's kind of similar in context with being analytical. Okay, um, we are not like technically prioritizing our emotions, but we are looking into the practical side of things. Okay, so that's rational choice theory. The way human beings do things is by making rational choices. And when we say rational choices, those are the choices that allows us to maximize our gain and minimize our loss at the same time. And of course, in consideration with what satisfies us. Hindi ka naman bibili ng gamit or ng bagay or ng pagkain na hindi mo gusto or doesn't satisfies you, right? So that's the thing. Okay. Now, paano nga ba tayo umabot sa punto na pinag-uusapan natin 'tong mga ganitong bagay? Why do we need to define what a human being is? Because again, like what I mentioned from the beginning, for us to further understand and learn more about science and technology, we need to learn more as well about the human beings or the society who's the one responsible for what? For the advancement of science and technology. But how did we reach this point where we are already capable of doing reflective thinking? Okay, that is because we have evolved different characteristics, and that includes the following. First is we got the ability to walk upright. Well, obviously, we are not able to do it right away. Okay? It is a thing that has evolved through time. Apart from walking upright, the succeeding slides I'm about to share with you includes the rest or other characteristics of the human being that has evolved through time because of these three things. First is environment change. Obviously, we know it, right? Our environment plays a major role when it comes to our like evolution, like not just simply physically, but in all aspects. Why? Because again, we try to adapt to the changes that our environment experiences so that we can survive. That's the main goal for survival. And for us to survive, we shouldn't like stay in a certain spot for a long time, especially if that's not beneficial for us. Again, going back to the rational choice theory, we always go for something that's going to benefit us. Aside from that, We also evolved as our knowledge increases. Later on, I'm going to elaborate on this one. And at the same time, um, we are not simply evolving physically, but at the same time, socially, okay, emotionally. And one key factor that affects the evolution of that aspect of us is our culture, okay, the way we adapt to different cultures, okay. So, with walking upright, how did we reach this point that we're already bipedal, that we're already able to walk upright? Again, we all know, okay, historically speaking, okay, the human being is not able to again stand straight already, or like right right from the path, as they say, okay. Following natural selection, Charles Darwin, okay, the descendants, which are again the ape-like ancestors associated with or related to human beings, they used to be on all four feet. Okay. Why? Because the environment during that time, obviously, the allows them, or the main source of food is plant-based, right? Trees, yung mga inaakyat. So obviously, they need to like have those, to use all of their extremities so that they can gather food. They climb trees. Okay, others walk on the ground so that they can gather food and find shelter. And again, what's the main purpose? Again, for survival. Okay, but as time passes by, okay, our environment changes. Okay, the source of food that we got also changes. Okay, we do not, we are no longer just simply um getting our food source from plants and trees. Okay, later on we are able to look for other sources of food through domestication of plants and animals. Okay, we also are able to hunt our foods, our food, right? So that requires us to change our body so that we're able to adapt to the changing environment. Okay, so etong four on all 4 feet, obviously that's like ideal for climbing trees and all. Pero later on, if you wanted to do hunting, obviously you need to move faster kasi nga you're hunting. Okay? So in view of that, because of that changes, kasi nga nagiging wide na yung food source natin, hindi na lang tayo simply relying on trees, okay, and plants on the ground. Okay, we later on progress until such time we're able to walk upright on uh, our 2 feet. Okay? So that's one thing. Again, kasi nga, hindi naman po pwedeng iisa lang yung source of food natin. Okay? Some other things or activities that lead to the advancement of or the evolution of the human body is our use of tools as well. Okay? Together with the evolution of the human body or our ability to walk upright is our ability to use different tools. Why? Kasi nga again, there are different aspects. Okay, there are different things, different factors that affects our survival. That includes again expanding our food source. So for us to have a wider food supplies, we need to have different ways of obtaining food. That includes foraging, hunting, and fishing. And such activities requires different type of tools as well. Okay, you do not expect to use the tools you're using for fishing as efficient and as effective when you use it for hunting, because again, when you hunt, usually you're hunting for food saan? Sa land, right? When you do fishing, obviously you do it in the bodies of water. Okay. On top of it, okay, there comes a time, alam natin yan, after ng Iron Age, no, or pagdating ng Iron Age, that's also the advent of what? Human beings being permanent settlers. Okay, we're no longer nomads during that time. Why? Because we already know the idea or the concept of agriculture. We're already capable of planting and domesticating plants and animals. Okay, and because of such a development, obviously our tools or also needed to adapt to it. Okay, the stone tools that we used to use during the early Paleolithic, Meso, and Neolithic period. Okay, they needed to upgrade so that it can better serve its purpose in the field of agriculture. Okay, so that's the reason why we also progressed from stone tools up to bronze and then into iron tools. And then we also got the improvement of materials and discovery of new ones. Ito, kitang-kita na natin yan nowadays, right? We're no longer just like producing tools so that we can widen our food supply, but at the same time, we're improving materials and we are trying to discover new ones for different purposes, such as for defense, right? Karoon na tayo ng mga atomic bomb, ng gun, ng cannon, okay? Different artilleries are already being formed, developed, kasi nga, we also require different, I mean, we require different tools for different purposes. Okay? Hindi na tayo limited lang sa pag-widen ng food supply natin. But right now, we also require tools to keep ourselves safe, not just simply for us to get food. Okay? So I hope that's clear. So I've already mentioned domestication, and that's also one thing that has evolved through time. Okay? If I am going to ask you, is domestication a good thing? Well, obviously, some of you may agree, others may not. Well, that's normal naman. Okay? Domestication is good thing in a way because this has helped even the earliest, during the olden days. Okay, even the earliest human beings benefited from this one because again, this acts as a source of clothing, of medicine. This also helped in constructing their shelters and even transportation, right? Before the industrial revolution, what's the main mode of transportation ba aside from walking? Well, obviously we ride on this different animals. So you can see it no kasi from the very first set of animals that are being domesticated, that includes goats, sheep, chicken, oxen, and horses. Okay, that are not just simply ideal for clothing, for food sources, but at the same time for transportation. Now, um, we also got some several things about the human body that has evolved through time. Okay, and again, that's because of the change in the environment and our like our need to adapt for us to survive. So first is again we have the short body and long gut. Now, this is characterized by if you're going to like see it, we got small but long arms in here and short legs. Why is it that we have like a short body and long gut? Long gut is for us to compensate for the fact that our diet during this time is plant based. And since we didn't have like digestive juices to fully digest plants because of again the presence of cellulose within it. Okay? Kaya pag kumain ka ng mais pa rin siya technically paglabas or ng malunggay, may remnants pa rin ng malunggay kasi nga hindi natin sila kayang i-digest fully because we didn't have the enzyme or the digestive enzyme. So to compensate for such, we have to increase okay the surface area of our digestive tract so that we can digest it like longer for us to somehow at least still absorb additional things out of this plant-based food. Okay, and our short body is quite wide in a way that its rib is wide so that it can house the other internal organs such as the stomach and the intestine. Okay, and other parts of the digestive system that's necessary for digestion or breaking down food. Next one here is from short body and long gut. Later on, we progress and evolve to have tall body naman but short gut. Why? Um, First off, that's because this time our environment changed in a way that it's already hot. Okay, so due to hot environment, okay, um, our body has to be tall or to be narrow so that it can stay cool. Okay. Furthermore, this time our food source is more like diverse than the previous period because this time we're already eating meat. Okay? And we're also able to easily digest food kasi nga hindi naman na 100% plant-based. Because of that feature, our digestive system naman or our gut became smaller in comparison with the previous one. Okay, and we have tall body that includes long legs because this time we're also able to travel longer distance because we're able to digest uh, food easily. Okay, tendency is we have more energy available for us to have this tall body, and at the same time for our brains to, of course, get bigger than the previous one. Okay, afterwards, okay, after being having a tall body and then short gut, we later on develop compact bodies. Okay, so what's the shortcut? What's with the compact body? So if the tall body is because our climate during this time or period is um hot. Okay, this time this is when ice age or colder climate is already dominating our environment. So for us to conserve heat, we have to have a compact, wide body. Okay, so that we can obviously survive the colder climate. And at the same time, this time as well, we've depended on both raw meat and cooked food. Okay, that allows us to still have a shortcut because again, we're still able to digest it naman na po better than the first version. Then later on, okay, as time passed by and we're no longer like doing the physically demanding lifestyle of being a nomad kasi nga marunong na nga tayong magluto ng kinakain natin. Okay, and again, our food source is already diversified. We later on or eventually develop smooth and weaker bones. Okay, so again, these are the different like um aspects or parts of the human body that has evolved through time. And again, the main factor that dictates or is responsible for the change is our change in the environment and change in the way we get our food, digest our food, consume it. Okay? Next part of the body that has evolved is the brain. Well, obviously we all know that brain is the most complex organ in the body, and if we are to like recall it, okay, today's brain is actually 3 times larger than the brain before. Why? How did we come up with this evolved version of the brain? Again, like what I mentioned, fire plays a major role in the development or attainment of the current version of our brains. Why? Because the discovery of fire allowed us to cook our food, to cook the meat that we're consuming. And because of that, we're able to digest it fully. Okay, and alam nga natin no, that one key part of meat is like protein, and protein is also playing a major role in, of course, the development physically of our brain in here. Thus, we're able to have a larger one and more complex one, and because of it, it's capable of processing and storing lots of information in comparison with the previous one. Okay, and if you're going to check it, the more information the brain receives, the faster it processes. And because of that, dahil nga mas marami ka ng alam, mas marami ka ng information na nare-receive at napaprocess. Therefore, when you encounter a certain thing, you're able to adequately what? Respond to it. Okay? New challenges that we experience as human beings, okay, in our environment also plays a major role in the development of our brains. Okay, well, obviously, alam na natin yan. Halimbawa, no, kunwari lang yung like the old human beings during the prehistoric time. Okay, posible naman na hindi tayo matututo sa encounter natin or sa mga experiences natin. Let's say, for example, a human being during that time encountered a certain predator, an animal predator that obviously wants to eat that person. So the tendency is you're going to fight for your life, right? With that like um with that certain encounter, obviously you're going to gain an experience that you can use moving forward should you survive. Okay, that you're going to use moving forward, so that you can obviously maintain or conserve your life, no? In what way? So, kung alam mo na na-experience mo na dati na, 'pag dito ako pumunta sa path na ito, most probably I'll be encountering this predator. So, iiwas ka na, okay? So, something like that. Well, obviously, we're not only developing naman only inside the four corners of our classroom, or, if you undergo formal education. Okay, I'm not telling that you should not, but again, there's a lot of venues for us to develop our brains and for us to obviously learn things. That includes our experiences, okay? The experiences drawn from our environment, okay? Aside from that, okay, again, I've talked about like mostly the physical attributes or uh characteristics of human beings that has evolved through time. But ma'am, how about the emotional part or the psychological, the social one? So obviously, no, hindi rin yan papahuli. Okay, our social life, okay, pag sinabi natin social life, again, the first thing that comes into our mind is our association with other human beings, right? So our social life also evolved through time. Okay? Alam naman natin yan eh, 'di ba? Sabi ko nga nung una, um, when it comes to hunting food, usually ano lang, konti or small groups lang siya, bands of people lang siya, 'no? But as time passed by, medyo lumalaki na yung group natin, okay? Then later on, we are able to form communities, nagkaroon na tayo ng mga chieftains and all to lead yung ating mga small groups, okay? So that they'll have, what you call this one, they'll have different strategies, rules to keep the group intact and to protect it, to make sure it's going to survive, to make sure that everything that it needs will be provided, right? So, nung una pa lang meron na tayo, and that has evolved through time, okay? At the first place, katulad ng sinabi ko nga kanina, okay, we as human beings, according to Aristotle, doesn't only require physical needs, but we also got social needs or spiritual ones. Okay. So with the social needs, that is when we have this need to belong. Okay. To find similarities and common goals with others. Bakit nga ba importante? That is because of the following. Una, support. Okay. Alam natin that when we have our own group, we're able to have a great support system. To the point that even if there's lots of challenges that you're going to face, one way or another, your support system will really matter. Okay? If you have a great support system, usually um, we like get support from those people that has the same needs or have the same goals, concerns, and ideologies in life, 'di ba? Kaya nga sabi nila, 'di ba, parang we have this statement ba yun or quotes or whatnot that um, tell me who your friends are and I'll tell you who you are. Parang something like that. Okay, because yes, of course, um, somehow our friends or the people that we surround ourselves with really affects or influences us one way or another. So somehow they became our, not like the entire reflection of us, but somehow they reflect some values, some of our values, right? Okay. Next one is through our association with other human beings, okay, we also are able to form our own culture. Pag sinabing culture, dyan papasok yung alin, yung arts, literature, language, religion, and our culture is also the one responsible for influencing us. What is our standard of good and evil. Okay? Some cultures may have practices or traditions that is like not acceptable to others. Okay? And but that's not like a reason for us to go against them. It's just that again, at the end of the day, we are all human beings, but we are different from one another. Okay? So our social life is also influenced by the culture that we are having, okay, or that we are part of, okay. Aside from that, well, obviously we have social groups, okay? And here, with social groups, the interactions of members of a society forms a strong social bond that lead to long-lasting relationship. Ito nga, dito papasok yung mga friendies, best friends, and all, no? Yung kumbaga may friend ka sa school, may friend ka sa place ninyo sa bahay, may friend ka sa work and stuff, meron kang friends online, offline, and all. So, that's not, a problem naman kasi nga again, at the end of the day, we have different needs, okay? Hindi naman 'pag sinabing like, social needs, eh, iisa lang siya. It varies. Alam niyo yun, I don't know if you've experienced it, pero kasi ako personally 'no, um, I'm the type of person that likes my circle small, okay? I'm more with quality over quantity, and hindi rin kasi ako masyadong maano. Well, I can work with bigger groups 'no, but I prefer smaller ones. And I don't know if you've experienced this one, but sometimes, 'di ba, if you have some concerns, let's say for example, concerns about your personal life, you have this like friend in mind na kapagka yun yung concern mo, dun ka sa kanya. Okay, parang para kasing 'pag ito yung concern ko, ito yung tao for it, eh. Pero kapag mga related sa work, parang ito yung tao for that. 'Pag related sa school, ito yung tao for that. If related sa family and stuff, ito yung tao for that. So, we have such like persons or people in our lives. And again, that's very, very important. Okay? How do we find them? Because again, at the end, the what binds us is yung commonalities nga natin. Okay? So, meron diyaan malalaking groups, meron ding maliliit, pero wala naman sa laki or sa liit ng grupo 'yun. It's more of like the type of bond and the quality of bond that you're sharing with those people that I think no personally really matters. Another thing is that through social groups, no, by having our social life. Again, sabi nga natin dati, nung unang panahon pa lang meron na tayong mga social groups in the form of like for example, nung pre-colonial period, we have the barangay, it is headed by the datu and all, 'di ba? Meron tayong mga designated mga babaylands, meron tayong mga designated group of people to protect our tribe or our like community um from other communities that may cause harm. Okay, and these leaders or this yes of course these leaders, they act as not just simply someone who's going to protect us, but someone who's going to establish policies and rules to make sure that the entire community is operating properly and healthy. Okay, and obviously sa case natin nowadays, ano ba yan? Well, who's the one establishing policies? That's the government. Okay, but again, if you're going to look at it, the foundation of the government is the society itself. Okay, you won't be able to have or establish, nominate someone in the government if, again, at the first place, you don't have a community. Okay, a society made up of different communities. So that's the idea there. With goals, I think I don't need to elaborate it further. Okay, um, umaabot tayo sa point where we're not just simply looking for someone who's going to influence us sa culture or who's going to support us during the times of challenges, but at the same time we've evolved to the point that we are also looking for someone who's going to help us reach our goals. Okay, so it's very important, sabi nga nila, again, katulad ng sinabi ko kanina, babalik tayo dun sa support system. Okay, kung yung mga taong ipinapalibot mo sa sarili mo is those that has the same goal or sabi nga nila, parehas ng lipad mo or ng frequency mo, ng vibe mo, okay? Most probably, they're going to be very instrumental to your success in achieving certain milestones in life. Kasi nga, you're going to work towards it at the same time. So, kaya naman natin, we know we can do it all on our own. But sometimes there are some occasions then or goals that is better and great, ano ba, um, yes, better to be achieved with someone who has the same, mindset and goals. Sabi nga natin, if we have such goals or same goals, it works collectively for what would benefit all of the people within the social group. Okay? Lastly, another thing that has evolved through time is the use of language and symbols. Alam naman na natin yan. During the time when, I mean, like, even during the time when we are not yet able to speak properly or articulate language, right? We already have our own forms of communication through symbols, through sounds, right? We somehow mimic like animal sounds during the early days, but as progresses, again, we are able to develop our own language and symbols, di ba? Um, we made use of pigments, of paintings, drawings, wood carving, right? To record what's going on with our daily lives. Kaya nga nagkaroon tayo ng idea, 'di ba? How the olden days operate, how the people during the prehistoric period like works or lives. We're not just simply relying on the fossils left by them, but at the same time by the different language and symbol language system or writing system that they've used, no, during their time. Okay. Um, ano pa ba? We're also able to what? Up until right now naman, 'di ba? We're not just simply communicating through like oral, like through speaking, but at the same time, you can also communicate through body languages. Alam mo kung yung katabi mo ay gutom, okay, kahit hindi pa siya nagsasabing gutom na siya. Alam mo kung yung katabi mo ay galit, masaya, irita, okay? Just by checking their body languages, okay? We're able to interpret that one as well. Kahit yung mga other abled, no, or differently abled individuals, no, they make use of sign language so that they can communicate with others. Okay? Right now, we're already actually less. Well, of course, printing press is the thing during the Industrial Revolution, but computers, no, lalo na AI, yan, yung chat GPT. Okay? Um, we have lots of ways to do and to communicate already more than like the traditional way, and kita naman natin yung evolution from the simple wood carving and wall painting up to AI generated messages, okay, and notifications. So those are the different um, features of the human beings that has evolved through time and has helped us, okay, attain our current level of thinking, no? Current level to the point that maabot na tayo sa point na hindi lang tayo nagtatanong paano tayo makaka-survive, paano tayo kakain, pero what makes us happy, okay? This is a very ano ba, philosophical like question that I think everyone has like have questioned, no, themselves at some point. Puwedeng ngayon niyo lang siya tinanong sa sarili ninyo or puwedeng dati pa, okay. What makes you happy? Ano nga ba nakakapagpasaya sa'yo? Puwedeng yung magulang mo, puwedeng by graduating or like completing this course or program that you have right now. Puwedeng mapasagot mo si crush or yung nililigawan mo, puwedeng to be rich. 'No? It varies, and sabi nga ng ilang estudyante na tanong ko na nito, sabi nga nila, "Happiness is subjective naman, ma'am." Well, that's of course, obviously, we do have our own definition of happiness, okay? That depends on the person. Another point that I've also, like, heard of from another student is that, um, aside from happiness is being subjective, it depends on whether you choose to be happy or not, okay? Kasi puwedeng sabihin mo na, "I'm happy when I see my family having a good life." But, if suddenly there's a problem, kasi hindi naman ibig sabihin na 'pag sinabi mong good life 100% bulletproof ka na sa problema, eh. Wala namang gano'n, 'no? Um, Kumbaga parang, like in the context of Catholics, 'cause I myself is a Catholic, 'di ba? Sabi nga nila, um, Hindi naman porket naniniwala ka sa Diyos at nananalig ka sa Diyos, that means you're not going to have problems. No, that's not how it is. But if you believe in Him, and if you have great like faith in Him, that only means that you're not going to have zero problems anymore. You're still going to encounter problems, but it's going to be you plus God against the problem, not just you alone. I mean, you get what I mean. That's the idea there. Um, Same goes with going back again. Yung ngang idea na if you choose to be happy, then you'll be happy regardless of the scenario, regardless of the situation, okay, that is presented to you. But if you're not going to choose to be happy kahit ang dami-dami mong pera or manalo ka man sa lotto kung pera ang nagpapasaya sa'yo 'no. If still you're going to focus on the negative side, then you won't be fully happy, right? So that's like the thing. It's very subjective, and at the same time it depends on you. It depends on the human being. But happiness is one constant thing that we from time to time tend to look for, right? Like, bakit mo nga ba 'to ginagawa? Kasi ma'am ito yung nagpapasaya sa akin. Kasi ma'am ito po yung passion ko. Kasi I find fulfillment in doing this, in getting this, in achieving this, right? Yun yung mahirap, eh, 'no, minsan. Parang gusto mong maging masaya, pero ano nga ba yung ibig sabihin ng happiness for you? Para tayong sa cycle 'no, na paulit-ulit na we are targeting to be in that spot, pero sometimes it's very difficult for us to describe that spot that we're aiming to, 'di ba? So how are you going to achieve it if at the first place it's not very clear yung definition ng happiness? Paano ka magiging masaya kung hindi malinaw sa'yo yung definition ng happiness, 'no? Okay. Again, I mean, that's me just sharing some of my random thoughts about happiness right now, no? But that depends on you whether you wanted to like answer it or not. If you want to, feel free to share it. You may try to send your answers or your thoughts about it via MS Teams. Okay, later on after you've watched this video discussion. But going back, okay, whether it's your family's good life, you achieving your dream house, car, family, career, okay? Whether you achieving the definition of success, okay? Or for others kasi as simple as like, you know, just having 3 meals a day that's going to fill up my stomach is enough for me to be happy. That's also a definition of happiness to others, right? So it varies. Ma'am, bakit pa natin pinag-usapan yung happiness? Kasi nga again, no, that's one part of the human being right now that, you know, tells a lot of things about him. And sabi nga natin, for us to understand science and technology, dapat alam natin yung nature, yung needs, yung wants ng human being. So kasama po dun is yung happiness. Bakit nga ba? Kasi if you're going to follow yung konsepto ng happiness kay according to Aristotle, okay, dan papasok yung concept ng human flourishing. 'Pag sinabing flourishing, ano bang ibig sabihin nun? You're thriving, right? Parang, in you're associating yourself in, in a flourishing or blooming plant, okay, or flower, 'di ba? When you thrive, you flourish. You are 'pag flourishing, ano pa bang other things that we can associate with it? Parang alam mo yun, you are continuously developing, you are blooming, you are I hope you get what I mean, 'di ba 'pag sinabi nating blooming parang kung sa halaman nga siya, it blooms, continuous, parang ang sigla-sigla niya, parang field of nutrition and stuff like that. How to achieve that state, okay? Actually, um, with Aristotle. Okay, sabi niya, human flourishing is somehow associated with the term eudaimonia. Okay, so literally, if we are to define eudaimonia, it's human flourishing or a contented state of being happy, healthy, and prosperous. Okay, its origin is in the Greek. Okay, it's a Greek word. So, according to Aristotle, the main goal, after of meeting all the needs, the wants of um, the physical body and the spiritual soul of the human being, it, it kumaga, the needs of those two aspects is rooted to the attainment of human flourishing, or simply put, to the attainment of one's happiness. The reason why you have like physical needs or material needs and um what's this? I'm sorry. The reason why I also got mm, spiritual needs is because you wanted to be happy. You wanted to flourish. Because human flourishing involves knowing your purpose or your goals in life. Para saan ka ba? Sabi nga 'di ba, para kanino ka bumabangon? Para saan ka bumabangon? Bakit ka nga ba nabubuhay? Ano bang purpose mo? Okay. Once you're able to identify it, then you are flourishing. Okay. And meron ding estudyante na nagsabi na, "Ma'am, happiness kasi can be either it can be scaled into a long-term and short-term goals." 'Di ba? Like, I find happiness in achieving my short-term goals. Like, for example, passing the examination, the midterm, the finals, the prelim. Yan. May long-term din naman na graduating from the program and all. Okay. Those are like our purpose. Para saan nga ba? Ba't kailangan may purpose ka? Kasi nga 'di ba, the purpose is the one that acts as our compass, okay? It gives us direction, okay? Somehow it makes us an idea what are the next steps to undertake or to do so that we advance in life. If we are to define human flourishing furthermore, again, it's a man's life has a purpose and the function of life is to attain that purpose. So, kumbaga, para siyang cycle, no? Meron tayong purpose and the reason why we're living, according to Aristotle, is for us to attain that purpose. Okay? And it's a lifelong journey, okay, class. Hindi porket na-attain mo 'tong isang goal mo na 'to ay sasabihin na natin na forever ka ng flourishing, no. Kasi 'di ba, life is a cycle and it's a series of ups and downs. Puwedeng sabihin natin na we're we're in the peak of our life as of today because we are flourishing nowadays because we are getting or achieving our short-term goals. But after that, what's next? 'Ba, after achieving it sometimes, 'di ba, nagfo-fall down na naman tayo. We're trying to look for another goal to catch or to eye for once again so that we can motivate ourselves to move forward once again, 'di ba? It's a lifelong journey. Ma'am, bakit? Kasi nga sabi nga nung iba 'no, there's no such thing as contentment, eh, okey? Others do have their own definition of contentment, and I think it's very, very good if we are able to somehow ground ourselves from time to time to make ourselves content, okay? Kaso sometimes kasi it's very difficult talaga, especially in this day and age and with the current type of society we have right now where we're overstimulated with social media, okay, and with technology. It's very, very, very difficult for us to stay grounded. Pero 'di ba, sometimes gusto mo na nga lang ano, eh, kumbaga i-pause to make things silent. Like to go out or to remove yourself from the day-to-day common things that you're doing so that you can recharge. And that's normal, that's fine. Okay, we have to. Napapagod kasi tao lang din naman tayo at the end of the day. Okay? I mean, going back, another definition of human flourishing is that, again, it's an effort to achieve self actualization. If you're familiar with Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Okay, kumbaga you can associate human flourishing to the peak of that um pyramid. Actually, I do have such a here. Oh, I'm sorry. And this it's about to be shown right now. Okay, here. So, 'di ba, the base is the physiological needs, then followed by the safety needs, love and belonging, esteem, and then self-actualization. So, the self-actualization, okay, that is like um the human flourishing na tinutukoy ni Aristotle. Okay, once you're able to identify, achieve the things that really makes you flourish, that makes you happy or simply happy, you're able to touch self-actualization, okay, sa Abraham Maslow's. And again, alam naman natin how this pyramid operates, no? Parang you have to meet the basic one so that you can progress. Okay? Others kasi ang mahirap no sa basic ones pa lang hindi na nami-meet ng maayos. Kaya it's more difficult for them to achieve or to upgrade, to level up no doon sa pyramid. Halimbawa sa mga marginalized members of the society, 'di ba? They are sometimes yung 3 times a day na meal, it's very difficult for them to achieve it, to attain it. So, compromise na ba yung health natin kasi nga hindi tayo nakakakain ng normal sa isang araw. And alam naman natin yan kapag hindi tayo nakakain, pag gutom tayo, diyan papasok yung we're distracted, agitated, okay, easily triggered, 'di ba? So, how can you flourish kung ganun pa lang 'no? Dun pa lang sa mga basic needs natin ay hindi na nami-meet. Okay, so again class, um, others may say na, madali lang naman maging masaya." Okay, but again, it's a case to case basis kasi iba-iba po tayo ng, kumbaga we have different, predispositions in life, okay? Plus, take note that flourishing is a descriptor of a positive mental health. I don't think I need to further elaborate on this one, but again, 'di ba? If you're happy, if you're flourishing, the rest will follow. You have drive to do things, you're energized. Obviously, hindi ka naman magiging happy kung hindi ka fully nourished. Okay? You also are mindful, okay? You tend to stress less despite of the challenges you're facing. You're able to sleep soundly. Sana all nakaka-sleep ng soundly talaga, no? And you're able to strike a balance po. Again, flourishing doesn't mean you're like off limits anymore to any potential challenges or problems. Still, you're going to encounter them. It's just that this time you are facing problems with a positive mindset or attitude. Okay. We also got this well being theory by Martin uh, E.P. Seligman. So it's being like summarized into this uh, term PERMA. Okay, and again, I don't think I need to further elaborate because these are quite self-explanatory. Okay, P stands for positive emotions. Okay, um, with well-being theory class, it's not just simply focusing on like achieving yung ating like what do you call this one? It's not simply like focusing onto the I'm sorry, I don't know if you're hearing the background. I think it's raining outside. Anyways, going back, it also recognized the fact that flourishing should be holistic. Okay? It should involve the entire being of a human being, kaya ang well-being theory. Okay? Di lang tayo magfo-focus sa kung ano yung spiritual need or physical need, okay, ng tao. Okay? So, with PERMA, okay, PERMA being P, positive emotions, E, engagement, R, positive relationship, M, meaning, and A, accomplishment. This key features po helps us to have a good well-being. Kumbaga, pag na-meet natin to, somehow, we're able to achieve a good well-being. Okay? positive emotions, obviously, it's very helpful because alam na natin yan. If we are positive with everything or with, well, not everything, but with the general or our general emotions, katulad ng sinabi ko kanina, we're going to find solutions amidst different challenges and not to simply focus on the negative sides of the challenges we're facing. If we are also flourishing, okay, here where we also find engagement, we are more engaged with whatever with whatever we are doing. We're more immersed, okay? Kumbaga give na give tayo doon sa ginagawa natin. We're giving our 100% kasi we are flourishing. We are happy when we do it. Okay? Another feature of the well-being theory, defining a flourishing human being is that, um, if you're flourishing, following the well-being theory, you have positive relationships. Okay? Wala tayong, kumbaga toxic relationship is something that we avoid. Okay? To sustain our well-being or to keep our well-being intact of some sort. Okay? With meaning naman, again, when we are happy, when we are flourishing, we find meaning in everything that we do. Okay, we find the things given to us meaningful, something that adds up or adds value to ourselves, not just simply something that, um, makes things difficult. Yung mga ganun eh. Halimbawa kasi, sabi nga, it's just a matter of point of view. Yung iba, may see that doing like yung mga activities na pinapagawa ni Miss De La Torre as something na, ay, ayos 'to, puwede 'tong makatulong sa future kasi puwedeng, in case we encounter this kind of scenario, at least alam na natin yung gagawin natin dito kasi napagawa na yun ni Miss De La Torre. Others may see it as like, I don't find any meaning about this one kasi I don't think it's applicable sa subject or sa program ko pagdating ng panahon. So again, if you're flourishing, you're not going to focus on the negative meaning of the things that you're doing. Instead, you're going to look at the benefits of it sa'yo. Again, no? Babalik tayo sa rational choice theory. And accomplishment. We all know for a fact that accomplishing things also plays a major role in our well-being. Okay? Napaka-impokrito naman kapag sinabi kong, um, kumbaga at some point, especially if you're a type of person that really aims, no, to be at the top of the class, tapos sasabihin natin na, "Ma'am, okay lang kahit hindi ako maging laude or what," or, "Ma'am, okay lang kahit hindi kami top group performer. Ma'am, okay lang kahit hindi ako yung highest sa exam." Kasi at some point, those are some key things that gives us a sense of accomplishment, 'di ba? Puwedeng maliit lang sila, puwedeng mababaw lang sila sa iba, okay? But sa others, but others may also see it as like a very great accomplishment that adds up to themselves, right? Na parang 'pag naging highest ka sa quiz ni Miss De La Torre, minsan sasabihin mo, "Ay, ang galing ko naman. Akala ko mahirap pero at least na-top ko siya." 'Di ba? So, these PERMA, positive emotions, engagement, positive relationship, meaning, and accomplishment, these are things that also, according to the well-being theory, contributes to the way we what? Flourish, to the way we attain human flourishing. Sana naririnig niyo pa rin ako no kahit umuulan. So at this point, let's end the discussion kasi it's almost 1 hour already, no? Okay. With human flourishing and science and technology, I wanted to ask you this question. Do you think we really need science and technology to achieve human flourishing? You may share your answer to this in the MS Teams po. Okay? I'll try to make a post about this question sa MS Teams and feel free to share your answer towards this. And another set of question to end the discussion is, do you think we could separate these two, yung human flourishing and yung science, technology, and society? Or are they inheritedly tied up with one another? Are they tied up to each other right from the start? Na human flourishing really cannot be achieved without science and technology. What's your answer to these questions? Let me know. Try to comment it
doon sa post na ilalagay ko po sa ating MS Teams. That ends our discussion po about the human flourishing, and I hope you've learned something po. Thank you very much. This is Miss De La Torre.